evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, June 21, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. World Trade Center in Guyana for 2024 opening. CCJ hailed her impactful rulings as it opens second itinerant sitting in Guyana. Family blames Diamond Hospital for National Powerlifters' death. Investigators visit location of alleged rape as DHARAMLALL probe continues. And OPRAH'S partner STEDMAN hosts leadership masterclass in Guyana. Now for the news in detail. We begin tonight's newscast with news that the opening of the World Trade Center in Guyana has now been pushed back to February 2024 as a result of factors, among which are delays in the shipment of building materials. Vanu Manikchand reports.
The World Trade Center Georgetown, the first in the Caribbean Community region, was initially set to open in February 2023. But according to Executive Director of the Trade Center, Wesley Kirton, delays have caused a postponement in the opening of the center in Guyana.
We had some issues with the supply chain. We had to bring in steel for the building and some other materials, so that kept us back. Work is progressing. We were slowed down a little bit next to the Elections Commission, and so some days when they were meeting in the local government elections, we couldn't use any high-powered equipment that made noise. We are looking at possible completion of the building in October, and the plan is to certainly officially have an official opening to coincide with the Republic Anniversary celebrations next year.
Local beverage giant Demerara Distillers Limited, DDL, had acquired the license in 2022 to set up the World Trade Center in Georgetown with the aim of connecting Guyanese businesses with potential partners around the world and access information as well as new markets through the network of over 300 World Trade Centers globally. According to DDL chairman, who is also the chairman of the World Trade Center Georgetown, they will be pushing the local private sector to participate in the global market.
I'm hoping that the World Trade Center, whose executive director is Mr. Curtin, is going to help us as a country and will help the private sector to develop an outward-looking vision so that we create more brands around the world. It must not only be rum, it must be every other thing.
Meanwhile, Curtin told this newscast that while the World Trade Center building is still being constructed, the organization has already started groundwork in working with small and medium enterprises as well as collaborating with other trade centers around the world.
In terms of preparing training modules, drawing on the experiences of World Trade Centers in other places. For instance, we've signed some MOUs already with some World Trade Centers outside of Guyana to look at collaboration. One of those World Trade Centers is in China.
According to Kirton, they have also been working with World Trade Centers in Africa, Canada, and Colombia. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
The judiciary and members of the legal profession were out in full force on Monday to mark the opening of the second itinerant sitting of the Caribbean Court of Justice in Guyana. Fiona Morrison was there and filed this report.
Monday's proceedings commenced with a parade of members of the judiciary led by the Caribbean Court of Justice's CCJ President, Justice Adrian Saunders, in the compound of the Arthur Chung Conference Center, ACCC, Lillian Dahl, Greater Georgetown. While delivering remarks, Justice Saunders reminded that Guyana was the first country to repose full trust and confidence in the CCJ.
History will forever record that Guyana was the first country to repose full trust and confidence in this regional project called the Caribbean Court of Justice, when Guyana acceded to the court's appellate jurisdiction from day one of the court's existence. It is only fitting, therefore, that we should take every opportunity that we can to reiterate and demonstrate our commitment to provide accessible, fair, and efficient justice, not just for the people of Guyana, but also for the people and states of the Caribbean community. Our visit to Guyana at this precise time also holds some symbolic significance. CARICOM, which has its headquarters in Guyana, observes its golden anniversary in a few weeks' time.
Chancellor of the Judiciary Acting Justice Yonette Cummings Edwards noted that the CCJ has been working assiduously to carve out a Caribbean jurisprudence that is second to none.
This court is known to be revolutionary, forward-thinking, and even groundbreaking in some of its decisions that it has given over the years. And since its establishment to date, the court has presided in 111 matters for Guyana alone.
For Guyana, Chief Justice Acting Roxanne Jert, Senior Counsel, said that the CCJ is a household name as the decisions of the court have been impactful.
As the decisions of the court have been impactful, not only in relation to individual litigants, but on our nation as a whole. I extend congratulations to St. Lucia and the CCJ on the accession of this CARICOM sister state to the court, making us a family of 5 states that have acceded to the court in its appellate jurisdiction. We look forward to other sister territories embracing the CCJ as their final appellate court, as it ensures greater access to justice for more of the peoples of our region, weaving together the several strands that make up the jurisprudential tapestry that is evident in our region.
For the second time since 2014, the CCJ is sitting in Guyana. During the itinerant sitting, which concludes tomorrow, the regional court will hear cases and deliver judgments. Fiona Marston, The Evening News.
Speaking of the need to balance the old with the new when it comes to community development, President Dr. Irfan Ali has revealed that the government is fielding a number of applications from persons looking to construct high-rise buildings in Ogle, where a bypass road is being developed, all the way to Eccles and beyond. Here is Jarrell Bryan with the details.
On Tuesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali, along with constituent candidates, visited a number of communities to listen to concerns of residents. Among the communities he visited was Lamaha Park, where he met residents who raised the issue of a gated community and called for improvements. Where the government can assist, the president assured them of his administration's support. He also drew parallels between Guyana and Trinidad, where there was a push and pull factor in community development.
One of the things that we have to do, and this is how development occurs, there's always push and pull factor. If you look at Port of Spain development, there was heavy push for the commercialization and building a financial sector inside of Port of Spain. So residences went high, and then a lot of communities were developed outside of Port of Spain, gated communities. And we're seeing a lot of that happening also around Ogle and so on. But they're the old pristine communities that remain in Port of Spain. So these are some, those old communities are not going to change in nature, right? So we have to make it back pristine and to find a balance to ensure it survives in the push and pull factor that is occurring around the state. That is what we have.
The president noted that in Ogle, East Coast Demerara, where work continues on the bypass road that will go to Eccles, East Bank Demerara, they are fielding a number of applications for tall, presumably high-rise buildings.
It's just like all the applications we're having now for tall buildings in the Ogle area and outside of the Ogle area. That if we don't balance it, then you limit what can occur at Ogle the Oakley Airport. So it's really finding a balance.
The much anticipated bypass road project will run 7.8 kilometers through the swampy backlands to create a 4-lane highway connecting the East Coast with the East Bank. The contractor carrying out this US $106 million project is Ashoka Bilcon, and they are aiming for an October 2024 deadline. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
While it is still early days in the evolving business relationship between Guyana and France, French Ambassador to Guyana Nicolas de Lacoste is hopeful that a Franco-Guyana Chamber of Commerce may one day be established. Here is Gerald Bryan again with the details.
At present, a trade mission of French Guyana businesses and officials are in Guyana exploring business opportunities. They are interested in a number of sectors ranging from agriculture and energy to the construction sector. French Ambassador to Guyana Nicolas de Lacoste was asked by this newscast about the possibility of a Franco-Guyana business chamber being established. De Lacoste was cautiously optimistic, noting that while there may not be enough cross-border business between the two countries right now, such a chamber may eventually become reality.
We have now a European Chamber of Commerce. I think for the moment too few French companies to open such a Franco-Guyanese Chamber of Commerce, but maybe someday, of course.
The trade mission has meanwhile visited a number of locations, including the Guyana shore base. They also participated in a networking event with the Guyanese private sector, where they made presentations on what French Guyana has to offer. In August of last year, the Guyana-European Union Business Chamber was launched shortly before then EU Ambassador Fernando Ponce Canto left the country. Guyana also has Canadian and British Chambers of Commerce that were launched in 2020 and 2023 respectively. There is also an American Chamber of Commerce and a Ghana Chamber of Commerce in Guyana. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Coming up, man stabbed to death after drinking spree and family blames Diamond Hospital for National Powerlifters' death. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us! No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Isuzu D-Max, built to work. Whether it's mining, construction, agriculture, or just adventure, Isuzu D-Max does the job. Put it to the test. Isuzu D-Max, engineered to keep every promise. Marex is the authorized dealer for all Isuzu products. Marex, telephone 226-14821, 226-1306.
Sally's Boutique is the place to shop when looking for quality high-end men and women footwear, wristwear, wallets, and clothing. Follow us on Instagram, Sally's Boutique GY. We're located at Charlotte Street between Camp and Wellington Streets. Contact us on 231-7519. That's 231-7519. WhatsApp 613-9578. That's 613-9578. Sally's Boutique, the new home of Clark's.
Turbo energy drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Wheels promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo energy drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean for more details. Conditions apply.
Are you a sports fan? Place your sport betting bets today for your chance to win up to $15 million per coupon. Visit any agent near you or www.superbet.gy and place your bets. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A 32-year-old man was on Monday afternoon stabbed to death during a row with a colleague after a drinking spree at Puttering Bagdam, Middle Mazruni River, Region 7. Dead is Carlson Joseph of Karau Darnau Village, Region 9. Police say the victim and the suspect worked together on a land dredge operating in the Bagdam, and on the day in question, a group of workers were at the landing imbibing alcohol. At around 14 hours, as they were proceeding back to the camp, an argument ensued between the suspect and the victim, and it led to a fight. They were eventually parted, but the victim allegedly slapped the suspect, which caused the suspect to retaliate by hitting him to the head with a spanner. In response, the victim drew a knife from his waist and attempted to stab the suspect, but the suspect overpowered the victim, took away the knife, and dealt the victim a stab to his ribcage, causing him to collapse and die. The suspect has been arrested. Lawanda McAllister joins us now to report that family members are calling for an investigation to be launched into the operations of the Diamond Regional Hospital. They are alleging that gross misconduct led to the demise of national powerlifting champion Rondell Clemenson. Here is this story.
Having not fully recovered from the loss of Nigel Phillips just under 1 month ago, the powerlifting fraternity has lost another competitor and national record holder, Rondell Clemenson. The 44-year-old passed away on Tuesday at the Diamond Hospital after he was taken there following complaints of not feeling well during the wee hours of the day. He had worked up to Monday, plying his trade as a taxi driver. Family members of the late athlete are blaming the hospital for the man's death. The evening news was told that upon arriving at the hospital, the nurse was told that the patient was having a hard time breathing and was feeling dizzy. Notwithstanding, the patient was told to sit and wait. Whilst sitting and waiting, however, the man fainted, fell off the chair and hit his head. He reportedly died on the floor. The man's wife, Uslin Richards, spoke with the Evening News, describing the experience at the hospital as horrific. She claimed that the hospital staff were rude and operated without care. The woman is calling for authorities to look into the situation at the medical facility. A post-mortem performed on the man's body on Wednesday showed that he died due to complications from high blood pressure. Efforts to contact officials from the Ministry of Health for a comment on the matter proved futile. In April 2021, the Diamond Hospital was officially recommissioned to serve as a smart health care facility following a $200 million in upgrades. Lawanda McAllister, The Evening News.
Investigators probing allegations of rape against Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel DHARAMLALL have visited the location where the crime was reportedly committed as investigations into the matter continue. Find out more in this Pooja Rambaran report.
Nigel Hughes, the lawyer representing Minister Nigel DHARAMLALL, has shared with another section of the media that investigators on Tuesday made a visit to the minister's house where the alleged rape occurred. The 16-year-old victim reportedly took investigators through the house where she detailed what transpired, while the minister waited outside. Reports also indicate that the minister's driver was questioned. DHARAMLALL was arrested on Monday after he presented himself at the Brickdown police station in the company of his attorney, where he was told of the allegation of rape. He was later placed on a $1 million station bail. Efforts by the Evening News to contact Hughes for an update on the case as of Wednesday proved futile, while the Guyana police force has not provided any information on the probe. DHARAMLALL has retained the services of Hughes, Fields and Stobie, and a statement from the law firm earlier this week expressed that Minister DHARAMLALL remains willing and disposed to assist in a full investigation of the matter. The minister is currently on administrative leave after having requested such in order to facilitate the investigations into the allegations of rape. The alleged victim is a 16-year-old who claimed that the incident occurred last year. The allegations first surfaced on social media. Since then, a number of organizations have issued statements calling for the matter to be investigated thoroughly. One such organization is the Women and Gender Equality Commission, headed by Indra Chandapal, which contended that anyone who breaks the law must bear the consequences. The Guyana Association of Women Lawyers also issued a statement, noting that those who wield power are not above the law, and that a thorough and unbiased investigation into the allegations must be done. Pooja Rambaran for the Evening News.
U.S.-based author and businessman Stedman Graham today led a masterclass on identity leadership to guide Guyanese leaders through his proven 9-step success process to better aid their personal and professional growth. Pooja Rambaran joins us again with the details.
Stedman Graham, known to many as Oprah Winfrey's partner, regularly conducts training programs for corporations and educational organizations worldwide. His 9-step success process is based on the philosophy that you cannot lead others until you lead yourself, and that relies heavily on knowing and fully understanding who you are.
You cannot change your circumstances until you first change yourself. You can't change anything on the outside until you change on the inside.
This masterclass was organized by Go Blue Consulting, a Caribbean training and consulting company for which organizational redesign expert Judy McCutcheon stands at the helm. During the masterclass opening at the Marriott Hotel Georgetown on Wednesday, McCutcheon noted that this is yet another opportunity to enhance the skills of Caribbean leaders.
When I landed in Guyana on Sunday night, late, something shifted. That was a very small shift, but it had a very great impact on how I wanted to show up today and for the rest of my life. When I had the idea for this masterclass series, it was because I wanted to change the leadership landscape in the Caribbean. This masterclass is going to set you on a path of wonderful self-discovery that will help you to tap into who you are at the core of your being so that you can lead from a place of empathy, compassion, and authenticity.
Meanwhile, Director of Business and Entrepreneur Development at the Tourism Industry and Commerce Ministry, John Edgell, added that workshops as such will greatly benefit local leaders as the country continues on its path of rapid development.
The private sector is what is going to fuel this economy. The private sector is what is going to lead this economy. So it is very important for many of you, I see here, I know you from being in the business community, it is very important for you to be able to take the knowledge, the tools, and all the input that will be shared here today to transition Guyana into that vision that we have for it. We know that we have the oil and gas resource, and with oil and gas comes a lot of power, but it comes a lot of responsibility. And for us to have that level of responsibility, we have to build our knowledge expertise.
Also present at the masterclass opening were Guyana Chamber of Commerce and Industry Senior Vice President Richard Rambaran and Deputy Chief Education Officer Dr. Ritesh Tularam. Pooja Rambaran for the Evening News.
Outgoing United States Ambassador to Guyana, Sarah Ann Lynch, who is wrapping up her 4-year stint in Guyana, has been praised for enhancing trade relations between businesses of the two countries, as well as for her role in ensuring that democracy was upheld during the March 2020 elections. Vanu Manikchand tells us more.
The U.S.-based Guyanese American Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday evening held a farewell reception for the outgoing U.S. Ambassador, Sarah Ann Lynch. President of the Chamber, Wesley Kirton, noted that the GACC has worked closely with the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown under the leadership of Ambassador Lynch on several initiatives centered on trade and economic development.
The Chamber has brought trade missions to Guyana. We've had businesses visit, and we collaborate with a number of other agencies, including the America's Relief Team, which put on last year the port and airport, excuse me, the ports and airports resiliency project with Ambassador. Ambassador, I can't say enough to thank you for the collaboration with the Chamber and with all the initiatives that we have embarked on while you've been here. We want to thank you sincerely for that collaboration.
In addition to her efforts to foster trade between the two countries, Ambassador Lynch was also hailed for her role during the aftermath of the 2020 elections in ensuring that democracy prevailed in Guyana.
I would consider your stint in Guyana at this particular point in time in our history a watershed period. You came when the future was uncertain. You helped to calm the waters, and by the very forthright statements you have made throughout your entire assignment here, you brought clarity to the leaders of this country as to the direction in which they ought to lead us. And I want to thank you very much for that.
The greatest attribute of a judge is no different from the attribute of an ambassador, and that is courage. Courage to stand for right when it's not popular. Courage to stand between right and might. And you have done just that in your undertaking here in Guyana. Years to come, people will sing your name because of the courage you've shown when many, many shrunk in the face of courage.
I get a lot of kudos for my work on the election, and I appreciate it immensely. I really do. I want to say two things. One, I have a very good team. I had a very good team back then that was an incredible help. We had a strong international community that helped. But Judge, you mentioned courage, the term courage. It really was the Guyanese people that were so courageous. And how could we do anything else but support you and see that the principles of democracy were adhered to and democracy prevailed? And it was my great honor to be a part of that historical moment in Guyana.
Moreover, the outgoing U.S. diplomat noted that she is now leaving a Guyana that is undergoing unprecedented transformation.
Guyana is working fast and furious. It's exhausting to keep up with you all sometimes, but this transformation is amazing. It's your day. Things are really happening here, and to be a guest in your country and to be a part of it has really been the greatest professional honor and privilege of my life and my career. And like I said, you will always be a part of me.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manikchang.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, June 22nd at 4:15 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the British River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, June 22nd at 6:10 for a period of 1.5 hours.
ODI qualifiers, West Indies set to play Nepal tomorrow, and Guada boys stifle Golden Jags in Gold Cup qualifier. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Turbo energy drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Weeks promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo energy drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean for more details. Conditions apply.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us. No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Entrepreneurs, coconut byproducts are in high demand. How can you cater to that demand? By investing in a coconut shredder from Sylvie's. Guaranteed to increase your output, this 110-volt stainless steel machine shreds coconut in seconds, allowing you to also save on labor and time. From the shreds, you can create coconut powder, oil, milk, etc. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or